Welcome to Galveston Unscripted. This audio guide is brought to you by the Galveston Art Center, located at 22nd and Strand. For more information, check out the link below. Hope, statue by Doug McLean. The statue Hope is an interpretation of Pompeo Coppini's lost sculpture, Victims of the Galveston Flood, commemorating the victims of the 1900 storm, the deadliest natural disaster in American history. In 1904, Pompeo Coppini was initially hired to construct a statue commemorating the victims of the 1900 storm. The city of Galveston, however, turned down the statue as it was thought to be too emotional and painful. Since it was turned down by the city of Galveston, the sculpture was sent to the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair, where it was placed in the Texas Pavilion. After the fair, the sculpture was shipped back to Texas, where it ended up in a warehouse in Austin. It was only placed on display once more in 1918. Once more placed into storage, where it was never to be seen again. Artist Doug McLean used only 2 known photographs of victims of the Galveston Flood. He brought life back to Pompeo Coppini's lost sculpture. Using 2 century-old photographs and his own interpretation, he completed Hope in 2020. You can now find Hope in the park behind City Hall. Here is artist Doug McLean on his statue, Hope.
The sculpture Hope was my interpretation of the long-lost 1904 plaster study by Pompeo Coppini of the victims of the Galveston Flood, the dramatic portrayal of the events of the most tragic weather event in American history, resulting in the loss of over 6,000 lives and catastrophic damage to Galveston Island. You'll notice the woman is climbing over a lot of fallen debris. The debris is being caused by some suggest 200-mile-an-hour winds that impacted the island in the 1900 storm. 6,000 to 8,000 people died that night. And this sculpture depicts a woman, her young daughter, and her small child in her arms, wading through the high winds, the high water to try and get to safety. You'll also notice the arm reaching up, trying to grasp onto some debris to try and save itself. So there's an enormous amount of emotion in this. The woman's face the expression just really is that of hope, hoping that regardless of whatever the odds are, that she's going to be able to save herself and her children from this horrible storm. It was an emotional journey doing it to try and achieve the feelings and the anguish that was in these faces. You really kind of had to put myself in that state of mind to be able to convey those emotions. It was hard sometimes, and having been through 2 bad hurricanes and been outside in the winds, understood the frustration, the anxiety, the fear, the concern that goes along with these storms. I think my own personal experience had a lot to do with how I was able to convey the emotions that were going on in the sculpture.
And now, a quote from Doug on the unflinching determination of Galvestonians, past, present, and future.
It is with the hope and determination to survive that the tremendous rebuilding of our island began. First with the construction of the concrete seawall, originally just 3 miles long, now 10 miles long, followed by the largest grade raising in American history, an average of 13 feet and lifting of thousands of structures to higher ground. We owe an immense gratitude to the thousands of victims and courageous rebuilders that have given so much to provide for us our island home. From the 1900 storm disaster, rebuilding, as well as after all the many storms that have followed. This monument honors the hope, grit, and tenacity of the people of Galveston, assuring that Galveston Island will always be moving forward.
Doug is an amazing storyteller. We sat down together to discuss his Hope statue, how he came about it, how he became obsessed with it, and general Galveston history. Check out the link in the show notes for Galveston Unscripted's first long-form discussion with Doug McLean. For more information on this topic, be sure to check out the description below. This audio guide is supported by the Galveston Art Center. The Galveston Art Center is a free arts and culture museum located at 2127 Strand. Be sure to check it out while you're walking around the historic downtown district. For historic resources or more information, check out the episode description.